Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Murdoch DeFi YouTube channel. And in today's video, we're going to be talking again about Murica Money. Um, if you guys watched my last video, I think it was like a couple months. This is Murica Reloaded. So they have a couple different offerings here in particular. As you can see here, they have, or this is essentially like a Tomb Finance fork. So you have your essentially like your seniorage protocol, where you have your one coin that is typically pegged to another coin, and then you have your share token, which in this case is the Constitution token. The peg token in this case with America Reloaded is the Liberty token, which, as you can see, is pegged 1-to-1 to the price of USDC. If you're not familiar, USDC is a stablecoin, so it is currently at peg or slightly above peg. But I want to mainly focus on a couple things today. The first thing is going to be going over these nodes, because this protocol actually does offer up some nodes that you can earn some pretty sweet daily ROIs on. Also, getting into this pool here, which is very interesting because this is using USDC and the Liberty token in the liquidity pair. And if you remember what we just talked about, right, Liberty is essentially a token that is pegged 1-to-1 to USDC. So essentially, provided that Liberty stays at or around peg price at $1, the potential for impermanent loss is drastically reduced because they're the same price, right? So you can buy some of these LPs. Again, you will go into how you do that if you're not familiar, but everything else pretty much operates the same way a normal tomb fork would be. They have Independence Hall here, which is where you can take your Constitution or your share tokens and stake those here and earn a 12.44% daily APR, which is insane, especially the fact that we're in a bear market right now. So what I wanted to do today was go through the documents, talk a little bit about the Murica Reloaded, what they have to offer. I want to get into the details of the nodes. I think that's very important to understand that, and it's one of those unique things that we see a couple, maybe one, maybe two different tomb forks offering these types of nodes. So I want to touch base on those today. But guys, before we go ahead and jump into it, make sure that you do subscribe to the YouTube channel here. If you are new to the channel, definitely welcome. You're going to want to make sure that you also hit the notification bell. That way you can stay up to date with all the content that I post here on the channel. Also, I leave links not only to the website of the project that we're talking about today, but also the first link down below in the description is going to be to the premium group. Feel free to click that link, check it out, and see what you are missing out on. That being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into their documents. So Murica Reloaded is a decentralized algorithmic stablecoin on the Phantom network. Again, like we discussed, it is pegged to 1-to-1 to the price of USDC via seniorage at the rate of 1 Liberty to 1 USDC, right? 1-to-1. The protocol's underlying mechanisms are designed to accomplish the following: to ensure a peg of Liberty and USDC, or Liberty to USDC, is achieved, warrant that the peg is maintained to establish Liberty as a mirrored liquid asset to USDC. The protocol accomplishes this by introducing unique community and economic dynamics into the market through its 3 tokens in a seniorage method, right? So they have their mission control here that talks about their initial launch, their Genesis pools, which are completed by now. If we look, I just want to make sure. Yeah, so Genesis pools have ended. So these are the current pools that you can be able to jump into. USDC Liberty, like I talked about, and then Constitution USDC LP. This is their share token, so just keep that in mind. There's a little bit more risk involved there. Roadmap. Here is their roadmap. They are KYC'd by April clock, which is good to know. They do have some pretty big heavy hitters on the, well, I don't know if heavy hitters is the right word, but some pretty well-known figures within the DeFi and Tomb Finance space. So these guys are all on the multi-sig together. They have a bunch of other stuff coming as well. So definitely stay tuned for all that stuff. Their reloaded ecosystem. Now, a lot of this stuff is going to fall in line with your standard practices for your typical Tomb Finance fork. So just know that if you get into the Independence Hall, essentially the boardroom version of, or it would be called the boardroom, right? Typically is what we see. In this case, it's called the Independence Hall. If you stake any of your tokens, any of your Constitution tokens in there, just know that that stuff is locked up for a period of time. So make sure that you're understanding those numbers before you actually deposit or go in and stake any of your Constitution tokens. I'm sure that they have that up over here. Yep. So upon stake, the funds will be locked for 4 epochs. I believe an epoch is 6 hours. Again, if I didn't mention this, this is on the Phantom ecosystem, by the way. So rewards can be claimed after 2 epochs after deposit, anytime that the user claims rewards or stakes more funds, or unstakes even partially, both lock and reward counters will be reset. So that is those are important numbers to know and understand. Obviously, they have the Independence Hall here. Here is the emissions and how those are pushed out. So let's see, Liberty distribution during expansion. So 80% goes to the Independence Reward Constitution stakers, 15% goes to a DAO fund, and 5% going to a dev fund. They also have their liquidity pairs, like we already discussed here within the under this T-Barty tab is what it's called. And these are the current liquidity pools that you can jump into and be able to earn a yield on that, right? So you have the Constitution USDC LP, which again, this could potentially, since Constitution, since this token is not pegged to the dollar or to USDC, then there is room for some impermanent loss. If you're not familiar with what impermanent loss is, definitely do some research there before you jump into this, because these types of pools, really anything in DeFi is very extremely risky. So knowing the ins and outs of everything before you actually put money into it is super important. That being said, if you are okay taking those types of risks, then you can earn an 8.41% daily APR right now. If you want to go to the more risk averse strategy, then for me personally, I would be looking at getting into this Liberty USDC liquidity pool, just because we're in a bear market right now, and it kind of makes sense to play with some of these assets that keep your stable coins safe. So daily APR there is 2.55%, yearly APR 930%. So this is an extremely good APR, essentially on a stable pool. Granted, there is a possibility for Liberty to lose its peg, so just keep that in mind as well. Going back here, they do also have their peg protection. It says if the peg of Liberty is ever threatened by the protocol, will therefore add a single stake option for the Liberty token. This pool will only be used temporarily and will not be a permanent fixture in the farm rotation. Upon learning from our previous experiences, we believe that this is the best for the peg and therefore what is best for the protocols. P.S. Those APRs will be enticing should the need arise. Obviously, they're going to want to get people into those pools. So that being said, they are going to be having some juicy APRs there. This gives you some information about Liberty, about Constitution, but really what I wanted to get into today and mainly talk about is how you can generate Liberty LP with nodes, right? So going back here, the specifics of these actual nodes. So 50 Liberty tokens cost per node, which is about $50 right now. You can print unlimited nodes per account, and there's an estimated 1.5 to 3% daily Liberty rewards paid. This is a tapering figure. Returns based on a node pool balance and are not guaranteed. Up to max 500% ROI on each node. Again, adjustable figure. However, like any investment, it is not possible to guarantee 500% ROI per node. Each node created weekly also gives you one entry into the Liberty prize sent to a random account. More entries means more chances to win. So that's another added benefit of actually, um, jumping into some of these nodes in particular. If you're not familiar with what a node is, so it says users may be familiar with the concept of validator nodes, which is, as the name suggests, validates transactions on a specific blockchain. In most blockchain networks, these validators are rewarded for their efforts with native tokens. Liberty nodes are not transaction validator nodes. However, they follow this concept by rewarding lock stakers with Liberty rewards for their efforts. So just know that those are two different types of nodes. These types of nodes are kind of like almost DeFi as a service, right? Users deposit Liberty to purchase a node with or which in turn deposits a portion of that reward into the pool and then drips the rewards back to all node holders. So that is how that's going to be working in particular. Again, if you look at the daily APRs for these types of nodes, again, okay, so look, you can see here, Liberty and USDC LP node cost $56.12. That is what it currently costs to jump in and grab one of these nodes, and then you can expect to earn right now. Again, these numbers will change, but as of right now, you're looking to earn a 2.65% daily ROI with an APR over the course of a year of 968.24%. So definitely pretty cool. Also, you can view their KYC here, all their contracts, and then it does briefly touch on bonds. And if you are not familiar with the bonding structure or the bonding mechanism within these types of Tomb fork protocols, then definitely make sure that you understand that before you try to jump into any bonding, because there are certain use cases or certain times within the protocol's lifespan of which these bondings are more effective. So that's all important stuff to know. They also have this DAO here. Let's see, where you can essentially bond DAI to earn these Liberty tokens. They have their end bonds as well. Again, like I just talked about, make sure that you understand the ramifications of jumping into them before you decide to take that, because really the best time or the only time to use these really are when the peg token is below peg, which it's currently not. So that being said, guys, that about covers everything that I wanted to talk about today about Murica Reloaded. Let me know what you guys think. I think that these Tomb forks are starting to make kind of a comeback. I think it has to do with the bear market, and people are just looking for places to, put their coins and earn additional, revenue or generate more income for themselves. And of course, Tomb forks is one of the ways that you can go ahead and do that. That being said, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one.